We are live. Finally, we had some issues with StreamYard. I do apologize for anybody who's watching during the replay. There's nobody in here right now, but we were trying to go through StreamYard, but it was stating that it had a very high traffic and was not letting us go live at all. So we had to revert to going through YouTube, unfortunately. But
Yeah, it just makes me wonder, like, is there something going on in the world this morning that we did not know about? Like, I don't know, like people who stream, is there like I don't know, a gaming thing going on? I don't know.
I have no clue. I accidentally, though, when I was trying to go through YouTube, I accidentally hit go live and it went live. So I was like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to add it. So
That's
I'm
funny.
trying to delete that. But, anyways, how are you today, Shannon?
I am doing good. It is starting to warm up a little bit here. So that's good, but it's definitely stormy. So I don't know. It's like a gloomy day. A good day to
Right,
stay at home.
right. I'm still, because it's staying on YouTube that this live is supposed to be live. Okay, there we go. We're all good now.
Okay, awesome.
We're good. Technology is not our friend.
It is not.
Good morning, the Bud Files. How are you today? Trying to get my chat pulled up.
Yeah, nothing like a little like super last minute change of plans to get your adrenaline going a little bit.
Yeah, and get the. I've already got naturally red cheeks, so my cheeks I can feel flushed a little bit there.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a red person, so
Yeah,
I'm always red.
yeah. I've always get you're blushing, and I'm like, quit, because you're actually going to make me blush.
Yeah, I had
So,
just like panicked and then just shut my laptop to get out of StreamYard. So now I'm just like trying to get back in and then I switched to my phone and my tripod, so it's like in a weird position here. Sorry.
right. Good morning, VJ. They are coming from Johannesburg. I have no clue where that's at. If you wouldn't
South
mind
Africa,
sharing,
right? I think it's South Africa,
I don't
right?
know. You're asking the wrong person. How are you today?
What? Oh, sorry. I apologize. I was just trying to get it loaded up here. I apologize. Yeah, so I am working on a few things, too many things, probably. Um, I have been working on my same sweater and I've been doing it in several different yarns. So I'm kind of losing steam on it. I don't know, like I know you write a lot of patterns, so I don't know if this happens to you where you're like super jazzed up about it. And then as you're working on it and you do it a couple times, your like momentum is just kind of like going down and down. But I was so excited when I started. And so now I'm having trouble finishing this last one and it just feels like it's taking forever. Ah. Mhm.
Knitting.
Yeah.
The idea is great, but I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. So,
Well, and that's a very valid thing to know too. It is totally okay to change your mind. And I know, like, when I kind of started out my channel, I would make a statement. And since I put it online, I felt like I had to be so true to that statement, even if it meant something. And so, like, I had struggled with my temperature blanket so much because I was hating doing it. Like, I still
mhm,
think the pattern idea was a good idea, but I just personally hated the project. Like, I don't do well, like, with the tediousness of that. And,
mhm,
but I was like, I publicly said on YouTube that I was doing this. And so then I
uh-huh.
had to like come to terms like 9 months later when I had still only gotten halfway through February that it was not happening. And so then I was just like, well, here's what it is. This is what's happening. It ain't getting done.
Right.
And then
It's
just not care if I felt like an idiot or looked like an idiot.
right. It's my mom. She said that she was going to do a temperature blanket this year, and I was like, kudos to you. Have fun with that. And
Yep.
then when I was in last month, she said that she was like, I think a few weeks behind, and I'm like, yep. Once you get behind, then
Hmm.
you really get behind. So it's like that's why I will not do one. Is because you
Yeah.
literally got to keep up with it every day, if not every other day, and I'm
Yeah.
just not
I
that
mean,
person.
I can see like maybe if I wanted to do like something for like like the year you got married or the year your child was born or like to commemorate a certain thing that has already happened and is in the past and you can just kind of work on it as you want. But the
Mhm.
whole like having to get the temperatures and write them down and sit down and do it and then that feeling of like, oh, I have so much left to do. I mean, like Kristen at Kristen Crochets, I mean, I think she's, like, about a year behind, and I give her so much credit for, like, pushing through on it.
And she does a lot of them too. It's not just that one either.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
yeah.
I know she did on one of them. She just, like, completely stopped. Yeah, I think it was she was doing a one from Tiffany Hansen, and I think after a while she got
Mhm.
into it and was like, "Nope, this isn't for me."
No. Is that the one that had where they were doing different stitches for each month?
Yes. Yep.
'Cause I know she was doing one of
Mhm.
those. I think that was actually last year she was
Yep.
doing that. So, yeah, I'm just those big projects, that's why also I don't like doing blankets either, is them big projects, I just lose so
Yeah.
much momentum and interest in it. I need quick, small projects.
Well, and I feel like I don't mind them so much, like, in the wintertime when it's cold and I just wanna sit on my couch with a blanket on my lap, but this time
Mhm.
of year, it would be absolutely awful, like, sitting with a giant blanket on your lap.
Yeah, especially down here. I mean, it gets, like I told you earlier, it's supposed to get into the triple digits today. And yeah, I'm just, no, I'm not an Afghan person. I'm not a big project person. I mean, I like doing shawls and stuff like that, and that's about, unless I have to do a blanket, that's as big as I go.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a project a lot of people do when you start out because you just don't know what you like and you don't know what to do.
Hmm.
But then I was like, I was making blankets for everyone I knew, and they were like, "Oh, thanks," and it's so much work and it's so much yarn that goes into it just for a person to be like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
thank you."
right. I've got so many other blankets. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
That's,
Or like not necessarily being able to trust your loved ones that they're going to wash it right. I'm very suspicious of my loved ones. Like I think they're going to put stuff in the dryer and like put it
right.
on high. And so if I put a bunch of work into something, I don't want it ruined and all pilly and stuff. So
Right. Right. It's the issue that we have is where I crochet, my mom crochets, my grandmother crochets, my mother-in-law crochets, my stepmother-in-law crochets. It's with our daughter and her being the only daughter that we have right now. Everybody wants to give her blankets. And I'm like, Okay, thanks. I mean, I greatly appreciate it, but it's like,
That
I
would
mean,
be a lot of crocheted blankets.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, she's got a whole stack of crochet blankets. Yeah,
I guess you're off the hook. You don't have to make them then.
exactly. I'll make her everything else. Y'all just, I guess, make her blanket. But it's like, okay, I think we've got more than enough blankets here. I mean, we're starting to
Yeah,
run out of room, but
I know.
it's the thought that counts. So,
It is. It definitely is.
so I know I was just talking to you about this. So, how did you get started on doing your website and your newsletter and just getting started with that?
Yeah, so I am super excited about my newsletter. I've had like the email sign up going for about a year, but I just wasn't like taking it super seriously, and it kind of seemed like a lot of work at first, but I don't know what it was, just kind of clicked. Like if I just like had the right like ADHD motivation to figure out what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted a way to be able to be in contact with people outside of YouTube. And I like being able to kind of give a heads up or share things that maybe I don't want to share on YouTube. You know, some of the things that I posted, I enjoy sharing, but they don't get hardly any views, or people are like, nah. So I'm like, I would rather share that with the people who want to see it.
Right.
So I anyone can start a newsletter, and I really encourage anybody at all to do it. So um it doesn't you don't even have to be a YouTube. Like if you have an Instagram or an Etsy store or like anything.
Mm-hmm.
um I go through a company called ConvertKit, and they are in the process of going through a rebrand and changing their name, so it will become Kit.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's still convertkit.com, and it is I do the free version.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you can have up to 1,000 people on your newsletter for free. But they're going to change it, and it's going to actually become 10,000. So it will take me decades probably to get that many people on a newsletter. And so, I feel like it's just a great way, and I'm liking doing. I did a video just for the people in the newsletter, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was super fun, just so that I could, yeah, like just share something first, like ahead of time.
Right. It
And
kind of makes it feel a little special too. That hey,
yes,
it's an exclusive perk. Pretty.
yes, because I do want to. I mean, it's kind of like how you have friends that, if something awesome happens, you call them up or text them right away and tell them, your great news. And then
Right.
some friends, you like next time you see them, you tell them. And then some friends, it's like, oh, if I see them in 2 years, maybe I'll tell them. Like
Right.
there's just like different levels of communication you have with different people. And
Mhm.
I mean, I definitely have people who, will like send me pictures of stuff they've done, and I just kind of want to do the same thing. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. There are different sites to go through to do it, but the limited amount of research I did, I think ConvertKit is probably the best fit for me,
Mhm.
especially since it's free and there are a large amount of perks. And if you're a person who wants to like sell directly from there, like if you have digital products, like if someone is a pattern designer, they can actually have links on there and different things like that. But that's not really my area. To me,
Mhm.
it's just more of a connection and a communication thing. But I am really enjoying it. So I only want to commit to one a month because it is a little bit of work.
Mhm.
But like it's one of those things then where if I have something extra, I know I can send it out as well.
Now, with that, have you thought about, because you're monetized, right?
Yes.
So, have you thought about doing memberships for your channel?
I actually have. So, I am going to what I'm super excited about is, I've started working on it, and what I'm doing is I'm gonna do, like, an exclusive video for memberships that's more like a vlog of everything I'm doing during the month. So,
Mhm.
next month in my July newsletter, I'm actually gonna put, like, a sample of that. So, like, I've been recording all month, and I want people to see the product before they buy it, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. Like, I
Right.
don't like, I want you to know, and I'm not gonna have a high price membership at all, but,
Yeah.
I just still want people to know what they would be signing up for. So, anyone who signed up for the newsletter in July will get, like, a long, long video from me that just newsletter people can watch. And then, like, from either August or September, I'm not sure when I'm going to launch it,
Okay.
but from then on, I will do, yeah, membership like that. So that's funny. I'm excited you asked me that.
Yeah, because I had no clue, but that is awesome. So now I also wanted to talk to you about your website as well.
Mhm.
Do you still have that kind of in play?
I do. So here's what I kind of recommend, because I have taken down, like, the different articles or posts I had on there. So
Mhm.
it's more of just a holding place right now, where I just have, like, links to my socials and my newsletter and stuff like that. And I guess one thing that I do recommend, if you are a person who, um, maybe plans on growing a little bit more digitally, is, securing some of the, like, domain name and handles. I'm not super active on Instagram, but I do have an account. I'm definitely not active at all on my Facebook page, but I started a Facebook page. Um, I have my Shannon at Shannon Talks Yarn email, but I also have a Gmail that's very similar, just so no one else could take it. Like, I want to be able to secure those, web names. And my website is very, very basic. I did not go through any, um, like, what are some of the big ones, like Square or Wix or whatever? I didn't do that. I literally went through Google. Like, you can start
Okay.
a website on Google, and it's free. You can do that, but it would
Okay.
say, like, I can't remember if it's like Blogspot or something. So I did pay, $12 a year, which I don't think is very much. I
Mhm.
paid $12 a year to pay for the domain name of just shannontalksyarn.com through
That's not bad at
Google.
all. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a
No.
dollar a month. So I'm
Exactly.
like, I can afford that. But yeah, so if the in the future, if I ever do want to really expand on that, I definitely can, and I can take that domain somewhere else. But I just thought that that would be a good, like, placeholder and a good start. And I might start posting more on it again, but even if I don't, I just like that it's out there on the internet and someone else can't start one with my name.
It's the reason why I was asking you is because I've kind of looked into it, and it's one of those things that I don't know where to start, and I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
Mhm.
And also because I know there's some places where you do have to pay, and if there
Yeah.
is websites where you can start your own website but don't have to pay, because
Yes.
you know that's exactly getting yourself into. If you can answer that.
It For some reason, I was getting, like, I don't know, but I was getting, like, a weird dinging noise, so I didn't hear you. I apologize. Could you repeat that?
It's okay. I was just asking, like, kind of like when you do start a website, what exactly are you getting yourself into? If you can
Oh,
kind of elaborate that on a little bit more.
yeah, yeah. So, like I said, I researched, like, the paid versus non-paid, and I was not. willing to pay, like a lot of the ones where you are getting them to do a lot of work for you, um, they cost like $30 a month. And I knew that I wasn't willing to put the work into it to feel like, I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this, to feel like that would balance out and be worth
Mhm.
the price. Um, and so, yeah, really what you need to do is like secure your web name. So like if you have some ideas what it is, like start typing it into Google with .com and everything, and just make sure it isn't out there already. You'll want to do that, and then just kind of based on what you plan on doing for it. I mean, there are people out there who want to run like memberships or, a lot of sales from digital products and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of us in our niche, we can keep it way simpler and just not even get into all that. Like, so on my website that's run through Google,
Mhm.
um, and all I did, I believe, was go into my Gmail account, and then you know how there's the little pull down box you can get, and it's got all the icons of all the
Yeah.
different stuff. I believe that if you go down there, blog is one of them, and so you just click on that, and it kind of takes you from there.
Okay.
Um, so it's pretty easy, and from there like you can have, like, if you wanted to sell patterns, or if you wanted to have like pictures of the latest fiber you had dyed, you can put a link right to your Etsy store in there, so they click on it and it it wouldn't take them to a checkout on your website because you wouldn't have that, and you wouldn't be paying like all the fees and all that to go through your website. It would
Mhm.
just automatically link it to Etsy, to the listing page, where they can purchase and check out. And I
Mhm.
guess I feel like, yeah, for a lot of us, we're not doing enough e-commerce to necessitate paying for all that. Like, we can just keep it simple. And I mean, I do recommend using probably Canva, and I pay for the premium version of Canva because that is where I made, like, all my graphics for the website and all of them for the newsletter as well. So to me, I don't know, I think I pay $7 a month for that. But I do recommend that for a paid service, but it can really be however much you want it to be. Like, if you want to be posting on a website, like a blog every day, uploading
Mhm.
all your videos, links to stuff, you definitely can if you're comfortable with that and you have time for that. And you'll get more traffic. And at
Mhm.
a certain point, it's basically a lot like YouTube, where you can put in for Google AdSense revenue, and then Google will put ads on your blog as well. So not only would you make money from people going, to your links for stuff, like
Mhm.
if it's an affiliate link or a product link, but then you would get ad revenue as well. Where, like,
Okay.
I'm not even putting ads on mine yet because I don't have the traffic. But if
Mhm.
I wanted to devote more attention, I probably could. I probably could get it.
Now, how would you go about like getting more? Is it kind of like YouTube and keywords and stuff like that? But like, how would you get more traffic going to your website?
Yep.
Would it be like?
So I had actually started a blog like several years ago where I was blogging about like vintagey home decor stuff, because
Uh,
like I freaking love estate sales and all that stuff. So it was more like, I would say like a lifestyle blog. So it was, yeah, like all my thrifted stuff I got, and then like some recipes and just stuff like that. And I'm glad I did it for the experience, but I just wasn't near as passionate about it as I am about all of this, obviously. um, I had taken a blogging class through, there's a channel on YouTube called, Farmhouse on Boone,
mhm.
and her channel's huge. She does like sourdough and homeschooling and just all this stuff. So I had done her blog class, and I think I paid maybe like, it was under $300 to do it, and I got a ton of information through that class. But that is for people who are like really like taking their blog serious, like they're trying to like make that a
Right.
full-time job.
Right.
But basically, a lot of it, if you're wanting to drive traffic to your website, is having a YouTube channel is a huge advantage. But then a lot of it is interacting in groups, like other groups you're in, and not being spammy, of course. Like, hey, I'm Shannon, come, I know you're here to see Cyd, but come on over to my website. Like, not like that,
Right.
but just like being active in the comments and in the groups, because I mean, you know how it is. Like a lot of times, like if somebody is commenting a lot, you'll click on their profile, you'll see if they have a channel, it's the same
Mhm.
type of thing. But yeah, being active in different groups, like whether it's Facebook or Reddit or wherever.
Mhm.
And then also Pinterest. That seems to be a big one. Just like making really pretty eye-catching pins and linking them to the blog is, and that's like a very much an oversimplification of what that course was. Like she went into all the details like how to do it. But yeah, basically just kind of like grassroots trying to just get more eyes on you.
Mhm.
And you can do, like, having a YouTube channel is a great advantage, because you can create a series just on something. You can try to build excitement, from it like
Mhm.
that. And um everything that I have read and watched on YouTube paid ads for like your YouTube channel, they're always like, don't do it, because by paying for ads to promote your YouTube channel, a lot of times you're getting people who aren't really as interested in what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Like it's not
Right.
really organic growth. So you might end up having a bunch of people subscribe but then leave, and you just paid $50 or $100 or whatever. But
Mhm.
those same people have also said that if you have a product you're launching, which your website would be your product, you can pay YouTube promotions to, like, if you had a video you made about your website, you can promote that video because it's basically a commercial, for the website, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So, yeah, there's definitely ways, but I guess, yeah, just being patient.
Yeah. Like with YouTube, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, that's the key component is being patient because it does take a lot of time and effort, and it is
Yes.
frustrating at times. Um, I kind of want to start doing a website because I've got Instagram, I've got Pinterest, I've got this, and I've got that, and just started the Etsy shop. And you've got to go to every single. If you're wanting to post, you've got to go to every single, unless you've got
Yes.
one of the apps, and it could take you an hour just to post whatever on all the websites that you, or not websites, but social
Like
media sites.
platforms.
Yeah, and so I figured having a website would cut down a lot of
Yeah.
potentially on that. So that's what I'm kind of looking into, and
Mhm.
possibly even starting a blog because I'm a lot
Yeah.
better at writing something than I am speaking. So,
Well, I think you're great at speaking, but I know the feeling you're talking about. But
yeah, my
the
mind
other
goes like all a different kind of direction.
yeah, trust me, I'm like the queen of non-linear speech.
It's
Um,
even like sometimes when somebody's talking to me, I kind of like drift off to like trying to roll back myself and I'm like,
yep.
okay, I need to focus. I have a bad habit of drifting off into
Mhm.
whenever somebody's talking. I have a bad habit of that.
You're not alone.
So if sometimes I'm just like looking at you like, uh huh, then that's probably what's happening, and I don't mean
Some
it, but it's just one of those things.
Sometimes I feel like I'm spacing off when I'm talking.
Yep, it's like, what did I just say? Yep.
The other thing though that I did want to say, and while I don't think YouTube is going anywhere. I don't think they are going to change any policies. I don't think they are going to stop YouTube. I mean, it's huge. It's part of, it Google owns it. Like it's a big deal.
Mhm,
But like, when you hear them talking about like potential TikTok ban, like different things like that,
mhm,
the other main benefit of having your own website and your own newsletter is that the term they use is you own your subscriber list then, where
Mhm.
like if YouTube did go down, the only people I would be able to reach out to are the ones on my newsletter. And so that's a major benefit of that, is just having access to as many of your people as possible. And like I said, I'm not like doomsday, like thinking things are going to happen, but it is a little more security too, just in that aspect where, if something major happened, you could still reach out and you could still email them and be like, you can find me here instead, or
Right.
whatever.
Yep. Well, I see Elizabeth is in the chat, and she said that she is making a modern granny blanket. Awesome.
She
And
gave me a sneak peek of, I had asked her to proofread my instructions for my sweater because I know what I want to say, but I'm the opposite, I guess, of you. So I know what I want to say, but when I go to write them down, it's all over the place and it doesn't make any sense.
uh-huh.
So I was like, can you read this? And does this make any sense? So she was kind of helping me with that. And so I'm like, yeah, make the sweater. And she did. And she sent it to me and it looked so good. And I was so excited and it looked so pretty on her. So,
Awesome. Now, you said that you were trying to write the pattern. Is that what you were
mhm,
saying? My husband
yeah.
was distracting me, so sorry. Um, in the goof. But so is that the first time you've actually written a pattern, or have you done it?
Um, I I have, if I have, it's only been a couple times. Like I had I made this pumpkin pie purse and I could not express myself. And so I had Jessie from Sweet Moments by Jessie. I was like, I know this sounds crazy, but here's what I'm doing. Do you want to
Mhm,
make a tutorial on this part of it? And she
mhm,
did, which was amazing and super helpful, but not like an optimal situation there.
mhm,
I really struggle with that. And that's kind of why I have also like leaned further away from those type of videos on my channel, because
mhm,
I know it's not a strength of mine. um it's just it's not a strength. And they say sometimes like you can put all this effort into something you're bad at and have minimal results of improvement, but if you take
mhm.
something that you're okay at or pretty good at and then put that same amount of effort into that, and then you can be amazing at that thing, if that
Right,
makes sense.
right.
So yeah, I'm just kind of leaning away from a lot of that type of stuff, but it's also things that I thought would be good to put like in my newsletter or in like future membership content as
Mhm,
well, where since there's less people in those things, they're probably going to be people who have watched more of my videos and just know me better and understand me a little better and could potentially be able to understand what I'm trying to say better instead
and
of
even help
making.
you out too. I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And then that way too, it's just not like as formal. Like I would not feel comfortable being like, pay $2 for this pattern that you may or may not understand.
Right.
So
It's with tutorials, it's really hard to do anyways because you have so many different people who learn different ways.
yeah.
And sometimes the way that you teach might not be the way that somebody else learns. And
Hmm.
then some people are so nitpicky or need, not trying to be mean, but need a, uh, be, what am I trying to say? Uh, hold their hand.
Yeah.
And like I've seen on like Facebook groups and stuff like that, people saying that they don't like when there's tutorials out there that don't tell them how to do a double crochet or a half double crochet or something like that. But if you're watching a video that is for a beanie or a shawl or something that's a little bit more experienced, shouldn't have to, and this is
Yeah.
just my opinion, you shouldn't have to explain how to do a double crochet or whatever. And that's where I kind of struggle at, is because trying to find that medium of, I guess, trying to please everybody. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's just, it's not that way. So.
But I think you hit on a good point because, like, we can't be all things to all people, and, like, a year ago, I feel like I was having, like, a YouTube crisis where I was like, "Who am I making videos for? I don't know what I'm doing." And I was like, "Maybe I should make them for beginners." And then I hated what I was making so bad that I didn't even wanna film. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, "This isn't right." Um, but you're clearly making things for someone who is like a intermediate level crocheter. So
Mhm.
they're probably going to get annoyed if they come and want to watch your beautiful twisted cable shawl, and then you spend the first 5 minutes of the video teaching them how to do a double or triple crochet, and they're like, ah, for cripe's
Yeah.
sake, I already know how to do this. She's wasting my time. I want to see the
Mhm.
shawl.
Right.
um and that's the thing, like, it is unfortunate for the people who do need a little more instruction, but if a beginner crocheter really isn't your like, ideal customer, your ideal viewer,
Mhm.
your people have experience, they do know that already, but it's
Mhm.
it's tough because, yeah, you do want to make
Happy.
happy. The only thing I would maybe, suggest is if it's something like that, you can, if you have like a super basic, like, just make a few super basic quick stitch and then just say in the tutorial, if you don't know how to do a double crochet, stop right now and watch this video and come back.
Yep.
And then it kind
That's
of like covers your bases, but most people probably wouldn't need it. But yeah, it's tough.
right. That, or like if you do put that, some people just don't even want to go to a different video and then
That's too
come
much
back.
effort.
So, yeah, so it's kind of, I try to, and I'm still learning a lot. I try to kind of find, like I said, make that medium of where it's okay, I can explain it, but I'm not over explaining it. And sometimes
Yeah.
that's hard too,
Yeah.
is finding where, because even to the point of myself, I get to the point where, like, okay, I feel like I'm over explaining it, and then, like, okay, for example, my cherry blossom shawl. Okay,
Mhm.
that shawl, yes, I've done V-shaped shawls before in a written pattern. That's a lot different than doing it in a tutorial and trying to explain it. So I felt like as I was explaining it as best as I could, and then there was a few people that stated this is very confusing. And so it's finding that medium of
Mhm.
what's over explaining and what's not. And like my mom said, it's better off, I guess, in certain sense, over explaining than under explaining. So yeah.
Well, I think what's like, if an average person who's never attempted to make a YouTube video, I find, like, here's the thing, I have never had criticism from another YouTuber, and certainly not a YouTuber with a bigger channel than me, because I feel like they know how hard it is. The people who have been like, I don't know, whatever they would say, something very critical about it, are the ones who've never posted anything at all. And it's really like, to make, okay, so to create a piece, to make the piece, to explain the piece is hard enough if somebody was sitting right next to you, but then to also make sure that you're getting the camera focused on it, that it's in the frame, that I've done things where it's not even my hands, my hook is not even in the frame. It's so frustrating.
Good,
And then
good
to
lighting.
have to have the sound on, like, I've recorded things without the microphone on. All of that going on at once while trying to explain something is hard.
Hmm. It's people who don't have the experience make it as if they know how to do it. And
Yes.
it's like, you're not always right and you don't always know how to do things, but
Yep, that's the thing. It's people who I think have experience. They've always been very kind about everything, just because, like, they know, like, it takes practice, and um, all of that. So,
It's a in a way you kind of just gotta jump into it and
mhm.
figure it out because just like crocheting or knitting or whatever, not everybody has the same experience, not everybody can learn the same way, and just because one person's doing something doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do it the exact same way. So it's and then to me it's the more research you do or trying to, making sure everything's right and you're getting yourself set up, sometimes it's not even worth it because you know
Well, and
you
I'm
can
gonna be
do.
honest, I feel like I have to learn things the hard way. Like, it is hard for me to just, in theory, I can watch a video tutorial on how to film a tutorial. And, yeah, I hear it, and I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense. I
Mhm.
get it." But then when I go to physically implement it, I know nothing at all. And so, it's just, I don't know, my aunt says that all the women in our family have to learn the hard way. Like, we just don't learn it easy. We have to try and fail a few times, look dumb doing it, and then we can figure it out.
It's my husband, he gives me crap about it all the time, and I'm like, "Well, I mean, at least I'm trying, and
Mhm.
I know the way that works best for me, so you
Yep.
can do whatever you need to go do, and I'll do however I need to go do it. So
Yep.
don't judge me."
Well, and I think that's the thing where if people are worried about starting an Instagram or a YouTube or anything like that, you just got to know you're probably going to be bad at it at first because
Mhm.
everyone is bad at it at first. I have a high suspicion that when someone like if there's a new channel and it is just like really popping and taken off, they've probably done similar work already
Mhm.
somewhere else. They may have had another channel or two in the past. They may have helped somebody with theirs. They may have like a work background in production or something like. But your average person starting a YouTube channel, yeah, it's going to be kind of crappy for a little bit, and that's fine because everybody
Right.
starts there.
That or it's just kind of the look at the draw, you never know.
Mhm.
So, well, I've run out of topics to talk about.
That is our I feel like our StreamYard, yeah, if anybody wasn't here in the beginning, so Sid had everything scheduled through StreamYard. It was all like nice and perfect. And Marquita, you are not bad at it. You've got a great channel. But I know how you're feeling. Like every week when I post a video, I'm like, oh, I'm the worst.
Yep.
But yeah, so Sid had everything lined up through StreamYard. Her and I were on there, we're chatting away, getting ready for it to start. And every time she pushed the button to go live, StreamYard was saying there was an unusual amount of activity and it wouldn't let us go live. So we kept trying and trying and it still wouldn't. And Sid's like, well, let's try YouTube. And then we were able to pop up. So yep. It just
Technology is not our friend at all.
no, no.
No. I think ever since, other than last month and the first month we did the live on Saturdays,
Hmm.
all the other times we've had mainly
Yes.
me having issues.
You know what though?
Good.
It's real life. And I do think
Yeah.
that's kind of the fun of doing a live though too, because I do here's the thing. I've come to enjoy editing, which sounds crazy, but I really like going in and like panning in on my video and bringing it back or like adding little pop-ups. Like that's fun for me.
Mhm.
I never thought that would have been a hobby at all, but I really enjoy that. But then I mean it's just like a different type of video. So
Mhm.
I really enjoy then the opportunity of the live where it's just like us being silly and talking about stuff and having stuff pop up and reacting to that and not
Mhm.
having it like so
Straight.
formal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love making thumbnails. That is, especially now that I'm kind of learning a little bit more on how to not professionally, but make them look better. That's I absolutely love making thumbnails.
But you know what? Your thumbnails are amazing. Like, they really are. Every time I see one of your thumbnails, I'm like, dang, that's a good thumbnail. Like, you do a good job of, like the one from the other day with the fiber rolls. What the rolled up
Braids.
fiber.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, the you had the in the forefront and the colors were beautiful and I could see your face and you're smiling. I I feel like sometimes people sell themselves too short when they have the thumbnail and they're way in the back and their face is tiny and there's like all this stuff going on and it's like I they can be really great videos and great information, but if the stuff isn't big enough and bright enough, people just aren't clicking on it. But yeah,
Mhm.
your thumbnails are always like chef's kiss.
I can sometimes disagree with that, but thank you. Um, Now I just lost my train of thought. Thanks, Shannon.
I recently figured out, how I oh, this would have been before we went live. I was talking about how like in every video there's like a weird piece of hair like this sticking out.
Uh-huh.
So I can't do anything about it in a video, but I found out on Canva when I got a weird hair, I can go in and use a magic eraser
Yeah.
tool on it. So my thumbnail, my hair isn't goofy. Like I don't have a piece of hair coming right here.
Right.
And I have used that several times.
Reading the comments here, and then there's. Yes, I can definitely agree with that, Posh. I try to stay out of the drama.
Mm,
I do not like drama at all. Y'all can keep that somewhere else because that's
yep.
just not my thing. Um, and like we've kind of talked about this too, I feel like sometimes YouTube is very clicky
Hmm.
and you've got to be in that right click in order to really, I guess, strive, unless
Yeah.
you completely do it by yourself. And
Hmm.
like we talked about, sometimes it's either you've got to have the experience or um, the luck of the draw type of thing.
Yep. Well, and that's why, like, I can't. I honestly don't know how long we've been friends for, Sid. I think we both kind of started about the same time.
Hmm.
And it's just to me, it's important, and I like finding people with newer channels and stuff, and just start talking to them in their comments, and just see like, I mean, some people aren't on YouTube to make friends. They're not. They just want to put
Right.
up videos and do whatever. But I think it's important to reach out. Like if you feel like you're vibing with somebody's video, or like especially if they're, like I said, newer and you just feel like, oh wow, this person, like this channel's going somewhere,
Mhm.
like I think it's important to reach out and just kind of establish that communication, because yeah, if we don't, no one will,
Right.
and I do feel very fortunate. I mean, there's some people that I have talked to and talked to a little bit and then they vanished. And that's always kind of sad too, especially like some people have done like a goodbye video, but other people, like, you go to find their channel and it's just like completely disappeared.
Mhm.
And you're like, what happened to her? But I think it's good to make those connections, and it just keeps things in perspective. Like, yes, this is another real person. And I like being able to reach out to other people, like with you and I doing this.
Mhm.
Like I said, I wanted someone who would be willing to do this with me. And then like with Jesse, when with the pattern for the circle,
Mhm.
like things like that, it's just nice to be able to have those connections and be able to reach out. Or like if it's nice too to have someone, because I don't know anybody in real life who does YouTube like for serious. My friend Lisa does videos, but she doesn't post regularly. Like it's not
Mhm.
something she's pursuing. She just kind of does it for fun. And so, um, like if something bad happens or if like something good happens, it's nice to have connections on YouTube that I can text or message and be like, hey, this happened.
Yeah.
Look at this is crazy. This lady left me 5 poop emojis, you know, like I got that one time. I got poop emojis
Really?
and so like I screenshotted it and sent it to Kristen and I'm like, look at this. So it's just something where it's nice to like always feel free to reach out to me, and that's the thing, especially when you're starting on YouTube, find other people in the same position or who have a little bit more subscribers or a little less subscribers and reach out and make those connections. And if they don't message you back, so
Oh,
what?
yeah.
You know, they're doing something else. It's not a personal rejection. They just their goals and their attention is on something else, but it could work out really great and you could have an awesome friend named Sydney 2 years later. So
Or Shannon. Yep. Yep. I definitely feel like I'm very introverted, and I have a hard time sometimes stepping up and be like, hey, you want to become friends, type of thing. I have a hard time. And I'm trying to kind of come a little bit more out of my comfort zone with that, because, like you said, it's not it. What really makes YouTube is having those friends and those connections.
mhm.
And
Yep.
when I first started on YouTube, I did have those connections, but it was more along in the garden community.
Mm,
And then we just all kind of, some of them did stick together, but the whole group kind of just like drifted away. And so I do still support them and I still wish them best, but I've dialed into the crocheting community because I can relate a lot more to them or people in the crocheting community than I can in gardening, even though I do garden. So, so I'm working on that.
so Lisbeth is asking why someone would send me poop emojis. So I don't want to spoil too much. So I've got a video that I plan on coming out on Monday night, and it's a Q&A. I had asked for questions on my
Mhm.
community tab, and one of the questions was about like trolling and stuff. So I did address the poop emoji situation there, but I will tell you real quick. Some lady was super offended, but the thing that like annoyed me about the situation is if she would have actually watched the video, it was my video where I talked about ordering from the wool warehouse
Mhm.
and how I loved the yarn and I was surprised at how reasonable the shipping was. So that was the point of the video. In the video, I had showed and I was comparing it to when I ordered from Laughing Hens, which is another store in the UK. And so I was just comparing the two, and the shipping was half at Wool Warehouse, but the like bag that the Laughing Hen sent was like a reinforced bag where Wool Warehouse was a poly mailer and it had torn open.
Mhm.
But you know, they have the organza bag in there. And so I had just said, just so you know, this is what happened. And I did not blame Wool Warehouse or anything, but I had said, this is pretty dirty. I live on a gravel road. And this lady was like so put off by that. And I think she might have been from the UK because some of the words that she had used, I was like, that's like slang we don't really use here. So I think she was from over there, but I don't think she watched the video or she would have known that I loved the Wool Warehouse. But yeah, she was just like, what she said was, Shannon talks yarn, question mark. Shannon talks poop emoji. So and then she
That's
went
weird.
on to like list all of her discrepancies.
Uh-huh.
And again, if she would have watched the video and listened, she would have known that I loved it. But
Uh-huh.
she even went so far to like go under other people's comments and like bring it up again. And she brought up my gravel road multiple times. And I don't even know why that's offensive. But she kept talking about Shannon's dusty driveway. And I'm like maybe every company needs to change their shipping for Shannon. And I was like, this is weird. And so I did screenshot it, but then I deleted all of them because I'm like, I just don't have time for that, and I don't care, and I don't feel like I need to respond to any of it. If somebody wants to write whatever, and I put this in the Q&A video too, there's a section in when you're setting up your YouTube where you can go in and put in words that you don't allow in the
Yeah.
comments. So I didn't add the poop emoji because maybe somebody wants to use it in a different way, like
I'm gonna start doing that now.
the poop emoji. Yes. So,
Just a reminder.
but to block creeps, I put like the eggplant emoji in there, like there's things I don't want showing up. So,
Yeah.
but like I put in all sorts of words that I just didn't want coming up in the comments, and it'll go into like a reserve section you can go in and look at. And so for all I know, the poop lady is putting comments all the time, but I never see it.
Uh-huh.
I blocked her. So even if she writes a comment, I'll never see her. And then people who watch the video and read the comments, they'll never see it. But she
Mhm.
sees it. So she could be thinking she's leaving poops all day and I'll never know. And I'm just living my life.
That's what I do is I've only got maybe a few negative comments, but what I do is I delete and block them.
Yeah. Yep.
It's rude and there's no sense of it. Like I had on when I first started, I don't know why I remembered this one so specifically, but when I was doing my gardening updates when I first started YouTube,
Hmm.
there was somebody and I was showing exactly what I was planning, the garden and all of that. And at that time I was doing hot pepper plants in pots. And then I also had the in-ground garden too. Somebody decided they wanted to comment and state that it's well, I can't remember exactly what they said, but it was something to the effect of it's such a disgrace seeing that all of these beautiful plants are in pots and not in your in-ground garden. And I'm like, do you not see that I have an in-ground garden? So I just delete and block them. I started saying something back to them, but I was like, no, I'm not going to stoop to their level. You're
Yep.
no. So delete, block, bye.
Yeah.
You
Well,
got to
and
be able to sometimes. I mean,
yeah,
you
and
know.
I had seen, there was a lady, and I'm not gonna say her name, but she's got a pretty big, Instagram account, and I follow her over there, and then, she had started on YouTube, and her YouTube is pretty small, and I was checking it out and stuff, and, someone had insulted her, and she was kind of like going back and forth, and I was like, this isn't my business, but maybe she just doesn't know this. So I just was like, hey, just so you know, you can just block or whatever. And she's like, oh, I like arguing. And I was like, okay. um I don't. And I did have another instance where you know I talk about how I live rurally,
Mhm.
and some lady was so offended by the fact that I'm a Midwesterner because she lives in New Jersey and there are stores everywhere and she can get whatever she wants. And she couldn't believe anybody would live in the sticks like me. And she went on, and at first I was like, I left it up for a while because I was like, ooh, she looks like this makes her look bad. And I
Mhm.
was like, it's kind of funny. But then other people were kind of jumping in to defend me a little bit. And I hadn't said anything back. I was just kind of letting her look ridiculous. But other people were kind of defending me. And then other people who weren't reading, or maybe they were, but they were like, hey, I'm from Minnesota, or I'm from Illinois, I'm from the Midwest.
Mhm.
And so that's why I was like, you know what? Even if it doesn't, like, if it's a negative thing, and even if it doesn't offend me personally, I
People.
don't want anyone in my community to feel hurt by it.
Yeah.
So that's like you. It's like just get rid of it. There's no point in that. I don't want it. So
Yeah, some people do live off the drama posh, and I had somebody specifically tell me that they tried starting arguments arguments with me because they wanted me to argue with them back. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I am kind of surprised, like, my fears when starting were more like, is somebody going to like make fun of my appearance or, something. Surprisingly, I really haven't had those type of things. It's been like weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's like one time I had to look up somebody, they wrote like they were complaining about my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, I really can't change that. But I looked up the word they used and I'm like, I don't even think that's what I'm doing. It was vocal fry, like how the Kardashians talk. And I'm like, I don't even think I'm like that, but
No.
I
No.
don't know. Some of it's just weird. Yeah, the poop lady, like such an intense hatred for the gravel road. So I don't know. I feel like some of the trolling is never what you think it's gonna be. Like it's like weird stuff that you're not prepared for.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are just like, who said it? Mork, Mandy. I think I said that right. Just some people are so miserable that they
Hmm.
have nothing else to do with their life other than trying to make other
Yeah.
people miserable. So
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Imagine like being so unhappy and miserable that you're watching something that angers you and that you hate and you're having a bad reaction and then like typing off a snotty or mean comment to some stranger you don't even know, and it's like, oh, think about if you devoted that attention to doing something that made
yeah.
you happy instead of miserable. Like, I don't know, I don't want to be in that position.
Elizabeth said that she just googled vocal fry.
Yeah, it's like the Kardashians, right? I think so. Yeah, I don't think I have it. Like
I don't think so either.
I
I
will
can.
admit, I have the thing where like I feel like I talk so much that I run out of breath and then I'm like like
Uh huh. I can't hear you now. I can't hear you.
did you lose my voice there?
Yeah, I lost your voice. Your husband didn't steal your headphones again, did he?
No, not this time. This was my daughter trying to FaceTime me, and I
Ow.
thought if I just let it play out, it would stop. Am
Ow.
I frozen? Because I look frozen on my screen.
You're black. You have a.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like completely frozen on my screen. Sorry.
So Posh is asking what if we know what yarn affiliation really is because she can't actually find it out. Are
Oh,
you are you meaning like have an affiliate link with a certain website? Is that what you're meaning, Posh? Because I have one of those, and what it is based upon is um, you kind of, in a way, promote products that's on that website, and then you can um, put your link in the description box of a video or wherever you have your social media at, and you can have people click on that link, and if they buy something then you can make commission off of that. It might not be very much, but if that's what you're talking about.
mhm. So I went through uh the website shareasale.com, and with that it's you apply into share a sale, into like their main thing, and I don't know exactly like how many subscribers you need. I don't know, what the thing is, because I had done it once and gotten denied, and then
Hmm.
I had last month done it again and I had gotten in.
Hmm.
See, I'm doing the thing where I'm gasping for air. But so once you're accepted like into the share a sale network,
Hmm.
then you can apply to different programs inside of that. So then I applied to Lion Brand was in there, and Knit Picks was in there, and can't remember if there was another one or not. There was a few others. There wasn't a lot of yarn related ones, but I did apply and get into those, so that you then go and you take the links and you put them through their little generator, so it gives you a link that will track you to it. And there's other programs out there like that. I can't think of what the other big one. Commission Junction is another one.
I think so. I think
and
that's who Hobby Lobby goes through.
Okay.
I think.
So and then there's one that I think might be like TDL or something like that. I don't know what that is exactly. But the other one that you can go through, and I think you only need 500 subscribers for Amazon. So like there's an Amazon influencer, which I had applied for that and they were like, nope. So like you just do like the regular Amazon affiliate program. And it's like any products through Amazon you can lift through there, and the percentage you get is teeny tiny compared to like Knit Picks. I think was like a 10% commission. I can't remember what Lion Brand might have been 5 or 6. But Amazon is a good place to start because the threshold is pretty low, and if you want to get like more used to doing it. The problem for me is I have found that I'm not a super big fan of buying yarn on Amazon because I think a lot of it is overpriced as opposed to buying it from the source. But I am interested in ordering some yarn art flowers and getting it off of Amazon because that seems to be a decent price, like 12 or 13 bucks. So I would feel comfortable, I would, because I don't want to promote something and be like, oh, buy this because I make a commission, but you have to pay twice as much for it. I'm not comfortable with that.
Right.
But certainly like any type of things like, your tools, anything else, you could definitely link off of there. So that's a good one to get started with if you want the practice.
Right. Posh is, I think, leaving us. So, yeah, she's leaving us. Well, thank you for coming in, Posh.
Yes.
We greatly appreciate, I just said that. We greatly appreciate having you. Please be safe and dry safe as well. Yeah, see, the one that I just got signed up for, the Bamboo MN, they actually contacted me. So sometimes the websites will contact you. But they contacted me asking if I wouldn't mind doing the affiliate program, which, I mean, I've tried going through Hobby Lobby in the past, but they never got back with me. And from what I researched, it is hard to get on with Hobby Lobby. But the one with Bamboo MN, they do give you a 10%
Nice.
commission. So it is great. The only thing that if you were to buy off of them that I wouldn't get commission off of is they do sell custom engravements. So, and there's some kitchen appliances that I don't get commission off of. But 10%, like you said, is a pretty decent commission percentage. So I want to do like Knit Picks and Lion Brand and stuff like that, but I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet. I'm doing so many other things that I don't want to have to worry about one other thing right now.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. You got to kind of prioritize, and see what's working for you and like your business as a whole.
Right, right. Well, Shannon, I think I'm about ready to wrap this up if you are.
You know what? I think for as many weird things as we had happen in the beginning, I am quite pleased with how well this turned out.
Yeah.
I had fun. I had fun sharing about the poop emojis. It's too bad there wasn't a poop emoji to share here in the comments. No, please don't. I don't want Cyd getting a bunch of poops.
I don't care. As long as it's not being, derogatory or anything like that. I Actually, in fact, when me and my husband first started dating, I was like 18 at the time, and that's when the big poop emoji was,
It was like
huge.
it was like pillows and T-shirts and everything.
Yep. So for our first Valentine's Day, I actually got him one of those singing poop emoji things. And then his mom, she knew my not infatuation, but my obsession with it. She actually ended up making me a crochet pair of earrings that had the poop emoji on it. I've never worn them, but it's just kind of comical. So
Well, I feel like for our next live, I think maybe you should wear them.
okay, if I can remember them. Yep.
Oh, I'll text you.
Okay. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Cyd, for putting this together. I really appreciate it. And
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you for everybody in the comments too. I had a lot of fun this
Yes.
morning.
Thank you, Shannon, for dealing with the ongoing technical struggles, it seems like.
Absolutely, not a
I,
problem.
I had a lot of fun, and I would just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today and just making our day a little bit better.
Yep.
So,
Thank
uh,
you.
have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.